We planned to go to the beach. I had already made a picnic lunch for us. Everyone was very excited. We had our pails and our shovels, and we were ready to take off in the morning. While I was laying in bed, waiting for my husband Brian to come home after a long night of work, and then I heard the TV.
This is a special report from CBS News. TWA Flight 355 to Chicago, carrying 86 passengers and 7 crew members, has been hijacked. Shortly after takeoff from New York's LaGuardia Airport at 8 p.m., the aircraft was commandeered by Zvonko and Julie Busic, a Croatian and his American wife, along with 3 Croatian nationalists. They claim to have a bomb on board the plane and a second device located in New York City.
Right there on the black and white TV screen, I saw the most familiar face in the world. It was Brian, and he was wearing his Kevlar vest and his bomb squad written on the back. I watched as he and his partner carefully picked up a Macy's shopping bag, put it on a blanket, and then carried the blanket off the screen. I told myself not to panic. You know, he's done hundreds of cases just like this one. No, this cannot be happening. This is not for me. They're not here for me. Brian? And in that moment, he was gone. On September 11th, 1976, TWA Flight 355 was hijacked by a group of Croatian nationalists. Shortly after it took off from New York's JFK Airport.
Armed with modeling clay and electrical tape, from which they fashioned imitation explosives, the terrorists convinced the passengers and members on board that they were prepared to die for their cause, Croatian independence.
Eventually, the aircraft landed in France and the hijackers surrendered.
Additionally, in an attempt to convince the authorities that the fake bombs on board the plane were real, they placed a real bomb in a subway locker at Grand Central Station.
Tragically, police officer Brian Murray died trying to defuse the bomb.
The lives of 2 American women, the wife of the mastermind behind the hijacking and the wife of the fallen police officer, were fused together in that instance.
Forgiveness
by Kathy Rankin. It's all over the news. I see for the first time the wife of the fallen police officer, Kathleen, and her 2 boys. I find myself wondering if she really did love him. I hope that she is relieved in a perverse way that he's gone, that she can start a new life with someone else, someone not on the New York City Police Bomb Squad.
Julie Busic moved into my mind like an unwanted voice, a notion that took root and wouldn't leave. I read the police reports and over, and I made notes in a parallel of our lives, and I projected into her.
He was her life. She did love him. I knew that in the deepest part of my soul. The 2 pale faces of her boys still haunt me, but so too do the faces of the Croatians who were murdered and imprisoned, who just wanted to live in peace in the country they were born in.
The same year, married at the same time. We both graduated college with a master's degree. She was a teacher of English as a second language at a private school, and I was an English professor at a community college.
I graduated college in '69. I left Oregon and went to Vienna to grad school, and as fate would have it, I met Zvonko.
She will haunt me forever. I could see her, the glaring face in the newspaper. I wish to change the picture, to change what happened so that it was she who lost the man she loved.
I am told I am a heroine. I am a symbol and a saint. It's confusing. I'm a saint to 1,000 people, but a terrorist to 500 others. What am I?
What is she? She is a force I cannot fathom but need to make sense of. Police reports said she slept in the same room as 8 sticks of dynamite. She helped translate the directions from an English manual on how to create a bomb, and she played the role of hostess to hijack passengers. I am riveted. And
I am disgusted. I am told that we are terrorists and murderers and madmen. But my mother holds me in my arms and tells me that I am always her sweet little girl. She strokes my hair and my face. This is who I really am. My mother's sweet little girl. I never meant for anyone to suffer.
I wanted her to suffer, to hate her. But something about her intrigued me.
Why did I do it? Well, I'd like to tell people my story. I'd like to tell Kathleen my story. So I started to write her. Dear Kathleen, how can saying I'm sorry ever be enough? Even the fact that I have languished in prison for all these years doesn't seem to be enough punishment for me.
Julie, I hope you rot in prison. I hope you never have children.
I'm sorry you feel that way, but I understand. I want you to know I never thought it was the right thing to do. I tried to dissuade him, but I failed. So I decided to go along with him.
Why did you go along with a plan that you knew would land you in prison?
I was a reluctant participant. I participated in the hijacking of a passenger plane to support my husband, his sacrifice for Croatia, a country I had come to love. I thought I would be out in 8 years, and I knew I could do that. Wait 8 years for what I thought was a noble and worthy cause.
I became preoccupied with her time in prison, of her time behind bars. She is captivating and frightening.
I am surrounded by gangsters and Russian spies. I have no rights. I have to take orders from all kinds of morons, and that's the hardest part.
I can't imagine what it's been like to wake up in prison every day, but I'll bet that you got to think about what your actions did to me, and I'm glad.
We never meant for this to happen. We only put a real bomb in the subway locker to convince the authorities that we had real bombs on board the plane.
No one could tell me why the bomb exploded. The police reports are undetermined.
We believe it was sabotage. We think that the Yugoslavs found out about the bomb and set it off remotely as the police officers approached it. We are so certain it was detonated to discredit us and Croatians. We never wanted anyone to be hurt.
I thought I dealt with Brian's death, but the hurt is still there, as fresh as the day the police knocked on my door. Writing to you gives that ache life. It makes it something tangible, something I can hand to you and put in your lap.
I am not without fault. I know that. I hold the ultimate guilt. I have decided to divorce Wonko. You lost your husband. I can do without mine. We've all got our suffering. I have decided to become a nun.
I've remarried and had a baby. I haven't told anyone I've been writing you. It's our little secret.
I miss gardening. It must almost be time for your rose bushes to be blossoming.
My 14-year-old son is getting the best of me. He snuck onto a boat and started drinking beer. He's 14.
Of course, that's what he wants to do. It doesn't show who he's going to be when he grows up. No one knows better than you how I feel.
Julie, there must be an end to our suffering. I believe after all these years of correspondence that you were a victim and manipulated by your husband. I believe you have been in prison 5 years past your time. I believe you are remorseful and repentant. I wrote to the parole board on your behalf.
I know I'm going to be released, and it's all thanks to your letter. You are an amazing and compassionate person, and I can't wait to meet you in person. I could come to New York. You're so beautiful.
Look like a hijacker. No, you are.
This is a Croatian purse. It was given to me by the Croatian community for you. They want you to have it.
Thank you.
I was so nervous to finally meet you. I couldn't sleep at all.
Me either. So, you're released. What are your plans?
Well, I'm going to move to Croatia and wait for Zvonko to be released.
I thought you were getting divorced.
We've remarried. I made some hasty decisions, but I believe it's in our best interest to be together.
What hasty decision was that? To build a bomb? To hijack a plane?
We had no choice. We believed that Zvonko was going to be killed by the Yugoslav secret police. We wanted to make one last attempt to bring the Croatian situation to the public.
No, you did have a choice. You could have gone to the police. You could have gone to the embassy. There were other ways.
We went to the FBI. They did nothing.
You know, I can't believe this. You're going to have your husband back, and I will never have mine. I'm leaving.
Wait. There must be an end to our suffering. You said so yourself. Which brings me to ask if you'll write a letter to the parole board for Zvonko.
You want me to be the savior of your husband? That's what this is all about. That's why we're here. But you know what? You're a goddamn liar and a fraud.
I really hate to ask, but you would do the same in my position. I know that in my heart.
You know what? Go to hell. I'm not going to be the savior of your husband. You know what? I'm going to do everything I can to make sure he stays behind bars for the rest of his life.